Hey, Rashawn, you've had a little bit of time now to have this sort of settle in. What are your thoughts?
I'm so excited for this opportunity, and the first thing in my mind is showing up to that rookie camp. I talked to coach a little bit. He kind of pointed towards that, and I'm ready to show up and just get to work, show that I earned it.
And what did Coach tell you about their expectations for you?
We haven't actually talked that far in detail yet. Just talked about a little bit of logistics stuff.
And Rashawn, entering before tonight, how much did you talk to the Chargers? And did you have a sense? I mean, a lot of mock drafts had you going in this spot. How did you feel about your chances of ending up with the Chargers?
I felt pretty good about them. I actually hadn't talked to the Chargers at all on Zoom, at least not the coaches, and so it was a little bit of a surprise from that standpoint. But at the same time, like I've seen the drafts, I try not to pay attention to them, but I knew it could be a possibility.
And what do you think about this team? I don't know how much you know about the Chargers. Obviously, I'm sure you know about their quarterback.
I couldn't have picked a better place for myself. Young quarterback, great young quarterback, young team, and we're gonna have so many weapons, and it's just an honor to be a part of that system.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Cam.
Hey, Rashawn, congratulations, man. Congratulations on this getting drafted. How's that feel? What's your initial emotions when they call your name and then you get to pick up the hat, walk in and shake Roger Goodell's hands?
Still up till leading to that moment, it was still just disbelief that all my work had paid off and I was here in Cleveland, just at the draft in general. But, it was an amazing feeling. Like, first thing I did was just hug my family and thank them for being here. Teared up a little bit just at the thought of, the journey that's taken to be here, but pure excitement.
What sets you apart from the other offensive tackles or guards in the draft? You were number 2, but what sets you apart from the other guys?
I'm a technician. I'm consistent. I feel like the best thing you can be as an offensive lineman is consistent, and I'm the most consistent lineman in this draft. And I owe that to my, my technique, my understanding of the game, and just my work ethic.
And can you touch on playing high school football in Texas? Kind of how did that prepare you for a minute? I've never been down there. I didn't play high school football down there, but I hear it's everything. I hear it's the world down there. So what's that like? How has that prepared you for this moment?
It's all I ever knew growing up. And so to me, it was just normal. But, sometimes it was like a college game, playing, homecoming games. It's like the whole stadium's packed. So it's definitely a big deal down there. And I feel like being a part of a program at high school where football is taken so seriously, we had a coach that was pushing us really hard, and it kind of molded me into being who I am today. And so I'm really appreciative of it.
And then lastly for me, Rashawn, once again, congratulations. Once the Big Ten made the decision to kind of sit out, postpone their season last year, you opted out. What was that training process like? How did you hone your skills? How did you get prepared for playing football this year? And are you ready to hit somebody?
Hell right, I'm ready to hit somebody. It's been way too long. But I've been in Dallas training with Duke Manyweather, working out with a lot of his pro guys. And since fall, it's been tenacious 2-a-days constantly, working on my body in the weight room, getting stronger, faster, leaner, and just working on my technique. And so I feel like I'm a far better football player than the last time I touched the field, and I'm ready to show it off.
How so, if I may ask? The last one for me, but how so? You say you're a better football player. How would you say you're better?
Just so much more refined in all my techniques, my understanding of leverage, angles, my ability to change direction. It's all just taken 2 steps up.
Thank you once again, man. And we can't wait to see you play, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Dennis.
Congratulations, Rashawn. How are you today?
Thank you.
How did playing in the Big Ten, the physicality of the Big Ten, prepare you for playing in the NFL?
A lot. I had the opportunity to go against a lot of guys who ended up being highly touted draft picks and who are having success in the NFL now. And so I feel like that experience of, even at practice, going against Joe Gaz, who's now with the Chargers, going against people like that in the Big Ten, like it just kind of iron sharpens iron. And it's really, I wouldn't have wanted to play in any other conference. I feel extremely prepared.
And so when the Big Ten decided to play 2020, but you decided not to opt back in. What led to that decision for you?
Yeah. So they said they weren't coming back. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start training because my mindset is I want to be the best rookie. I want to be one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL in my rookie year. And so I kind of took that work ethic straight to training, and I started training. And when they brought it back, there was just so much uncertainty. I decided that I want to keep on focusing on this goal of mine.
Thank you.
Joe.
Rashawn, how much did that game against Chase Young of Ohio State 2 years ago you think really put you on the map?
I think it definitely did. That's a game that a lot of people look at to prove that I can play tackle at the next level with him being, who he is. And so I was thankful for the opportunity. Just, again, playing the Big Ten, you go against guys like that more than once a season. And so I feel, prepared.
Just two. You faced them twice that season, right? Because you guys played in the Big Ten championship game.
I played him one time the year prior in the Big Ten championship game, and then in that game. So 2 different years.
Okay. And also, nice fashion choice tonight with the suit. Did you go powder blue, maybe thinking that it was going to be the Chargers at 13?
Absolutely, and that's my favorite color too, so it works out perfectly.
And then just was it Northwestern? I mean, you guys have emerged under Coach Fitzgerald and everything, but what does it mean to kind of go this high? I think you're the highest Northwestern draft pick since Chris Hinton in '83.
Yeah, it's an honor to represent Northwestern. That's just a program that does it right, and it's destined for great things. And I think you're going to start to see a trend of a lot of guys going this high come out of Northwestern.
Okay, thanks a lot. Congrats.
Thank you.
Gilbert.
Hey, Rashawn, kind of just take me back to the draft room. I think Panessa went number 7 and then a couple corners and wide receivers. But how are you feeling in that moment? Were you a little nervous and not knowing what's going to happen?
I think there was definitely anxiety just leading up to today, not knowing what my future held. But at the same time, I've always had the mindset that I don't care what the team is. I don't care who the coach is. Like, I'm going to come in and, absorb as much as I can and just be able to execute when it comes to my time to show who I am. And so I was extremely thankful and happy that it was the Chargers. That was actually a team I was really excited about. And so I'm in a blessed situation, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Rashawn, you went viral at your pro day for like a weightlifting video. Are you always that kind of intense and passionate about football and workouts?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I kind of had the ability to flip the switch like that. And so, like, a lot of people in interviews, teams were like, some people say you're too nice. I'm like, you've never watched the film, just because I know how to flip that switch.
And Rashawn, I think I was looking at your bio from high school, and you grew up in Texas. There weren't many offers from the powerhouse schools in Texas. You went to Northwestern, but you think back then in high school, you kind of developed a chip on your shoulder to kind of prove people you could be a left tackle in the NFL?
Absolutely. I think it all started there. I've been an underdog all my life, going from under-recruited in high school to Northwestern, where, someone said it earlier, just not a lot of expectations come out of there. And so I feel like I've always had that chip on my shoulder, trained with that chip on my shoulder, and played with that chip on my shoulder. And it's not leaving, because that's just part of who I am now.
Rashawn, one more. You're entering an offensive line group with a lot of veterans: Corey Linsley, Matt Filer, and Brian Bulaga. What excites you the most about joining that type of veteran leadership?
I couldn't, one of my biggest wishes in going to an NFL team was to be in a room with a lot of good vets, and that's exactly what they have. And so I'm going to be a sponge. I'm going to be talking to those guys all the time, picking up everything I can as far as playbook, experience, how to train, like everything. And so it means a lot to be able to be around those guys.
Thank you, Rashawn.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Houston, Texas. Mark Berman.
Berman from Fox in Houston. How does it feel to be the second pro athlete in your family now, and how special was it to share this moment with Reggie?
It was amazing. Ever since I was a little kid, he just has that athletic, the athlete mindset of, like, he's going to be a grinder, a worker, and he's kind of pushed that upon us. And so to kind of realize it, him being with me as someone who molded my mindset and who I am today, like, I wouldn't want any other way. And so it was such an honor to have him there. I was so happy they were able to make the trip, and it's unbelievable.
He said that he tried to get you and your brother to play play basketball, you'll go out there and do footwork and do all these drills. You'd run right back in and play football because you have a love affair with the game.
Yeah, right. Ever since we were kids, like we were always big kids. You know how it is. Like you show up to football practice and they're like, all right, you can go with the O-line. And so we probably knew even then that basketball wasn't in our future.
If you could speak to Reggie right now, what would you like to tell him?
I say thank you for everything. Thank you for being an example and leader for me all my life. Thank you for laying the foundation of who I am as a person. And I'm so thankful that you could be here, and I'm going to keep making you proud.
Thank you to the Chargers for letting us in. Y'all have a good one.
Let's go to Pop.
Hey, Rashawn, good to meet you and congratulations.
Thank you.
So you might have just answered this, but who is your biggest inspiration?
Yeah, definitely my dad. You know, I've been blessed to be raised in such a great family, you know, mom and dad. But like I said, dad is just always, ever since I was a little kid, like we'll be chilling in the house, minding our business, and he would just sit next to us and be like, hey, like, I tell you about that time where, you know, I had to do yada, yada, yada. And he's just always been in our ear with that. And we didn't know it at the time, but all that stuff he was telling us, it was kind of like shaping us under our skin. And so definitely him.
You mentioned that, you know, you're a really good technician and your knowledge of the game, those are your strengths. Where did that come from? How did you develop into such a good technician at a young age? And where did you get your understanding of the game from?
It all started in high school, working out. When I really started pursuing football, I had the privilege to be able to work with the O-line coach, Coach Murphy, back in Houston. And, you know, he kind of just taught me the details of technique. And that was like really when I started getting to football. So at an early point, I realized that you put yourself ahead by the way you work, but you also put yourself ahead by the way you execute technique. Everyone's strong, everyone's fast, but like, do you have great technique? And so from there, that's kind of when it started to build. And then since then, I've just had great coaches and people in my life that continued me down that road.
One thing in your scouting report is that you have 5 position flexibility. Do you feel that way? And what do you think allows you to have that kind of flexibility to play pretty much anywhere in the offensive line?
Absolutely. I think part of it is just who I am. Like, I'm gonna always rise to whatever challenge is presented to me. And at the same time, at Northwestern, I ended up playing right tackle. I was recruited as a guard, played right tackle for my first 2 years and switched over to left. So I have experience on both sides. And, you know, I just have that chip in my shoulder to prove, if you think I can't do something, I'm gonna do it. And so I can play any position.
There's a lot of talk about arm length among tackles. Did that storyline get tiresome for you over the course of the draft process?
It definitely got tiresome, but at the end of the day, through my meetings with coaches, you know, I knew that they valued who I was as a technician and as a player and as a person. And so I wasn't too hung up about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Alexander.
Yeah, first of all, Rashawn, congratulations. Joe Reedy stole my question. I was going to ask about that blue suit.
Yeah, I love it.
I figured it was a coincidence, but you never know.
You never know.
In all seriousness, though, when you decided to opt out last year, was there a risk there? Was there some hesitation that this might affect your draft status, or were you pretty confident either way?
I was confident. You know, I wouldn't have made the decision if I wasn't confident. But like I said earlier, you know, once I entered that decision, there was no room for looking back. So I didn't have any regrets with it. As a competitor, I miss playing with my team, but it just motivated me to go harder in my training. And so, you know, I feel good about it, and I have from the start.
So there's a lot of pent up stuff that's going to come out first game, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
There's a lot of pent up emotion, frustration, violence, whatever, that's going to come out the first game, right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay. Thank you very much. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Fernando.
Hey, Rashawn, congratulations. When you sat out last year, did you watch any Charger games? Do you remember watching Justin Herbert at all?
I do. I remember following that storyline and just watching him grow and kind of, you know, erupt onto the scene. And so now to be able to block, like, I can't tell you enough how much it means to me to be able to come to an organization with a quarterback like that. And, you know, it's going to be everything for me to make sure that he's protected.
When you said you talked to Brandon Staley, or do you talk to Brandon Staley during the process or no? You said coach.
No, not during the process.
No. Okay. So coming to the Chargers, when you see a quarterback like Justin and everything, what about him excites you the most?
This is leadership and his ability to find a way to win no matter what. At the end of the day, he's a winner, and that's what matters. That's what you want in a quarterback.